What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man, Cam. It is March 5th, week 330 of the Voice of this iteration of the Voice of the Fans podcast. I am once again on location. Cleveland, how you doing out there today?
Doing all right. Thanks so much for asking, Cam.
So much for that heat wave that the Northwest was going through last week. Back to reality over the weekend and today, huh?
No, today was actually pretty warm, man. I went on a walk. It was sunshine and it was cool.
The way the sun's shining don't mean it's warm outside. You know that.
It was a good 55 or so, 55 to 60, somewhere in there.
It wasn't 55, so I have you know that. But the sun was out, but I mean, it wasn't raining. It wasn't wet. I'll give you guys a thumbs up because it wasn't wet. How about that? How about that? Um, Fans, I'm expecting a guest tonight, a guest host tonight. But until that guest come on, fans, just continue to run down. We're gonna talk about the NBA, the playoff race that we're now in, the NFL offseason is getting interesting, Cleveland. Got a lot of things to talk about there. NFL offseason is getting interesting. We got some boxing news to talk about, Cleveland. Did you watch the Gervonta Davis fight over the weekend?
I watched enough, Cam.
No, enough. Did you watch?
I didn't watch the whole fight, but I watched enough to know.
To know what? To watch enough to know what?
What you call the conspiracy theory was definitely acknowledged in the decision.
We're gonna talk some NHL, Cleveland. I don't know how much NHL you've been watching this season, but we're getting to they're about the same place as the NBA is, so we're gonna talk some NHL, some Major League Baseball. What your Mariners doing, Cleveland? You got anything to brag about your Mariners and what they're doing in Arizona?
Nope, doing spring training stuff. That's all.
Okay, speaking of Arizona, I got my man Dwayne Rankin coming in from. Let me get him on the screen. Let me get you on the screen. Hold on. There we go. I got my man Dwayne Rankin coming in from Arizona Republic. How you doing, big dog?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well, right, man. Dwayne, Cleveland, meet Dwayne.
No doubt. What's up,
guys? Bro? Right now.
Yes, sir.
Interesting night down there in the what is it called down there? The arena,
It's the Phoenix Arena now.
The Futsal Arena down there. What's
not anymore? Where are you at, bro? Like you got all kinds of stuff going on in the background.
I'm on location, man. I'm in downtown.
You're definitely on location.
Yeah, downtown. Man. I appreciate you for tuning in, man. You guys excuse me.
Nah, it's all good. They dropped Footprint Center. This Footprint Center is still going to be a advertiser, sponsor, or whatever, but they're going to have a new naming partner. They're working on that right now. So it's not Footprint Center right now. It's Phoenix Arena.
Okay, all right, Phoenix Arena. So we got some interesting stories coming out of there. Now, there's something with that Cleveland and I talked about. The Suns, man, you've had an interesting season. This has to be the most disappointing. Is this the most disappointing Suns team you've covered thus far?
No.
Oh, you've had others? You've had others worse with
if you want to base it off wins, I'm basing it off wins and losses. If you want to talk about expectations, sure. Yeah, they
well, there you go.
But as far as worst teams, I've covered worst teams.
No, not the worst team. Okay. The most disappointing team.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because you had expectations.
That's number one. No doubt.
Yeah. You thought you'd be doing some finals coverage this year, didn't you?
I don't never look at a season like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never someone that goes, oh, okay, I'll be somewhere in June or I look at it game by game, day by day, and whatever happens. Whether they win or lose, check keeps coming. You know what I mean? Like
that's fair. Of course.
It's not like it stops because that a season is or isn't going or what they should or shouldn't be doing.
Right.
No, as far as disappointing, yeah, no question. This as far as I've been covering the team since 18-19. And that was the year that they brought in Ayton, Mikal Bridges, and they won 19 games.
Oh,
So that was the worst team
Right.
as far as wins and losses. But
Right.
most disappointing. Oh yeah, this is it, no doubt.
Is there chemistry between the big three, if you will, Booker, Durant, and who's my man came from Washington, but
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal. Is there chemistry between all those guys?
I mean, it clearly can be better. They've only played, I want to say, 31, 32 games this year together.
Yeah.
They only played 41 games together last year. So they haven't played a lot of games together. So that's the first thing. Because it's mainly because Bill's been hurt. You know, he's it's just what it is. But as far as how they play, it's just you're trying to fit three perimeter players who need the ball to be at their best. So that doesn't always, usually, I mean, you watch today's NBA, there's a guy in that corner, maybe a guy in another corner, screener, roller,
Right.
spaced out, let the guy do his thing, pitch to a guy. Who's going to stand in the corner? If you got three guys that need the ball. I mean, Kevin's done it.
Yeah.
Brad's done it. But it's something where let's put it this way. When Kevin Durant stands in the corner, people are going, why the hell is he standing in the corner?
What's going on? Yeah.
It's Kevin Durant.
Sure.
Bradley Beal is the perfect one to be standing in the corner because he's shooting like 40-something% from three. Like he's ideal. But then Beal is the downhill threat that they don't have. So his ability to get in the paint creates movement so they can do other stuff off of it. So then that puts the ball in Brad's hands. Okay, well, Devin, he's gonna have the ball too. So how do you share it? And the other two guys, how do you get them involved? So the fit is simply not ideal. They'd be better off with a 3-man or a 4-man that could just, bottom out shots, like a stretch 4. That would be more ideal for the Suns than to have these three guys playing. That's why they went with Bill off the bench because they were thinking, okay, we'll bring Bill off the bench and then he can play with Kevin. And maybe he can play with Kevin. So all three of them on out there until you close again. But clearly it hasn't worked because they haven't the record.
Have they got enough out of Tyus Jones? I thought Tyus Jones, the addition to Tyus Jones, was going to try to even out that team, like how you just mentioned. Everybody needs the ball, but Tyus Jones coming over from Washington, where he was really good in Memphis, but coming over from Washington, I thought he was going to disperse the ball a little bit, try to make everybody happy just by slicing that pie up a little bit better. What have you seen from Tyus Jones?
The other end is Tyus Jones' problem, not offense. It's defense. You can't afford to be having your point guard getting targeted like all the time. Like all teams do is they just say, okay, we're going to switch. We're going to run this screen, switch, and now we got you. And they just go at him. That's been the issue. Like he can still set the table on offense.
Yeah.
But then you have a situation early in the year they were doing that, and you had Kevin saying, well, he's not the only one that can initiate offense.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Devin, not the only one that can initiate offense. Then it becomes, well, Devin needs the ball, and then he looked up, and Tyus Jones is further away from the ball, and he's out on the wing, and he's like a catch-and-shoot guy. 6-foot catch-and-shoot guys don't work.
They're not going to last in the league.
So now it's like you're taking him off the ball. He has issue guarding on the other end, and now he's coming off the bench. So they went into the season with this whole idea that this is going to be the answer at point guard.
Right.
And I think Tyus Jones is someone that's proven in the league, no question about it. But if we really want to get honest with his career, he's been a backup for the most part of his career. Other than last year in Washington, he came off the bench more. He played behind Ja. Yeah. So that's what he is.
But he filled in. He filled in excellently when Ja, took his little sabbatical. He filled in excellently. And that
fill in and play is two different things. again, it's no disrespect to Tyus.
Sure.
He can play. There's no doubt. He can make open shots. I think he's better in transition in terms of seeing the floor and finding guys than the initial setup. And that's what they've been trying to do. Let's run. But you got 36-year-old Kevin Durant, you got 32-year-old Bradley Beal, and you got Devin 10 years deep in the league. They don't play with the pace that they need to in order to take advantage of Tyus' ability to find guys in transition.
That's fair.
So it's a lot going on as to why Tyus Jones is coming off the bench, but it starts on the defensive end. He just struggled on that end this year.
Okay, that's fair enough. Where last night's game against the Clippers, first of all, what's your thoughts on Ivica Zubac? Is Zubac a legit big man in the league?
He is when he plays the Suns.
Well, because they don't have
the Suns, Joe. He kills the Suns. I'm telling you, he can eat for real. He pulls out a fork and a knife and just cuts them up. It's crazy. Like he it's amazing. Like he had 35 career high, man. It was like they had no answer. They had zero answer. But I think what Zubac does is his superpower is he's gonna make you work. Like the big that's guarding, he's gonna make him work because he's gonna go on offensive boards. He's gonna hustle. He's gonna do all that. Now, if you match that, then you nullify him.
Right, sure.
But if you don't, he'll eat. You know what I mean? So that's what it really comes down to. The bigs that have handled him say, nah, you're not doing this to them. I'm not letting you get this offensive rebound. I'm not letting you just do whatever. I'm not letting you do any of that. Now, I'm going to shut that off early just to let you know you're not going to just roll up in here and get, a bunch of offensive boards on me. Not going to happen. So I think he's a really good big, and he's perfect for the Clippers because they got these perimeter guys with Harden and Kawhi and Powell, and he's perfect for them. I don't know if he could be that same with every NBA team, but
he's good. He's good for them.
He kills the Suns. He just kills the Suns.
What is it? What do you see with these Suns? Clearly, there's a lot of talk about them getting rid of Durant. There was talk about him getting trading Durant at the trade deadline.
Right.
It sounds like that's what's going to happen. What do you think of covering that team for the last 6 years? What do you think of that? I mean, I think there's a few more heads to get chopped before you get to Kevin Durant, but what do you think about that move?
I mean, look, they got to get under the second apron. They can't continue to play above the second apron because then they have no limited roster flexibility. So they got to get under that. You're not moving Devin. You can get more for Devin than you will for Kevin. But moving Devin, the city would set on fire if you move Kevin, if you move Devin Booker.
Hey, you see teams around the NBA moving that guy, their franchise player, or who we thought was a franchise player. You see them guys, they just put them on the blocks and say, go to the West Coast.
I've lived here now for 7 seasons.
Yeah.
It's a different deal with Devin Booker here. Okay. I'm not saying that they can't trade him. I'm not saying that they wouldn't trade him. I'm just saying city set on fire if you do that. That's one. 2, Bill has a no trade clause.
Right.
So you gotta find a spot for him where he's like happy with this situation. I'm willing to uproot the family again. You gotta realize he was in Washington 11 years, and then you move him. Now you want to move him after two years?
Yeah.
Nah, he's like, yo, man, like, nah, I'm not doing that. And so that was part of the issue. Like, you just got there. You know, it's like now you want to move him. So the only other player you can get something for is Kevin. You're not Kevin. They aren't growing Kevin Durant's. I mean, this dude is like once in a lifetime guy.
Right.
So, but at the same time, it hasn't worked. You know what I mean?
But it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked with Booker either, though.
Yeah, but they again.
It hasn't worked.
Booker is their guy. That's it.
Man, I had a lot of girlfriends I was in love with. When that didn't work, we
that's the lifestyle you living, brother. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just saying.
I got mad respect for that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying,
but what I'm saying is no, like they're not gonna do that.
Okay.
They're just, I mean, again, they could, but if you're asking me to pick one, because you're not moving both. If you're asking me to pick one, it's going to be Kevin Durant. I mean, you're looking at him and you're going, let's put it this way. Do you think you can get two players for Kevin Durant? I'm just asking you, right?
Yeah,
you get two players, right? Because you're going to match the salaries, or you can go close to matching the salaries. You're probably going to get a pick or two along with that if you want to go that route. Yeah. Most people are saying they should just get picks. Get one guy and get picks. Get your picks back that you gave away when you traded for him in the first place.
Right.
So if you get two rotational guys that can help you win, then you can get that 27 points. They can do that.
Amen Thompson?
30-something, they get 30, 35. That's what they are. Cam, that's what they are. They're not a defensive team.
Yeah.
They just score.
Yeah.
They ain't about guarding nobody. They're 27th in the league in defense. So that's not who they are. That's not who they are. They're an offensive team. So if you want to keep that energy in that mode, go get two guys, bring them in that can help your rotation and maybe be better fits with Devin and possibly Brad, then
rebounder, somebody to play.
Yeah. Get somebody that can defend. You know what I mean? Because right now you watch them and it's like, I'm telling you, you've seen them play.
Yeah, I know.
It's an easy street. They just they can't keep anybody out the paint that really want to get in there. I mean, Kawhi, he put Nick Bridges on a poster last night.
Did he?
It was brutal.
No.
You know,
Cleveland, what you got? What you got, Cleveland?
My man, I got two quick questions for you. Thanks so much for being on the show. First off, I feel like Bradley Beal and his contract has changed the landscape of the NBA because there's no way in hell they will ever give
no trades, right?
Clause to someone that is not a franchise player.
Right.
So in that vein, do you feel like he is I don't want to say done a disservice, but has kind of left all of his other players out to dry, all of his other
teammates,
co-workers, so to speak, in the NBA out to dry just because he holds all the cards? Does that seem like a fair assessment of what happened there?
Well, it's like this. You got to think back to Washington. Okay, who did they have at that time when they made that move? Like John Wall was gone, right?
He was out of there.
So he was it. He was it. So he had the power to make them, all right, look, I want Supermax. I want no trade. So he was holding the cards then. And they gave it to him. And then Phoenix should have made it like, yo, we'll take you, but you got to waive this clause forever.
Right.
Then they could have easily moved him.
Right.
But Bill said, no, I'm not coming there unless, I get to keep this clause. And remember this about this trade. The Suns' two trades that they made when they moved Chris Paul, which was the Bradley Beal deal, when they moved Ayton, which was the Nurkic deal. It wasn't about getting Bradley Beal or Yusuf Nurkic. It was about getting rid of Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. So they didn't have the power on those deals, and so that's why they're in this situation. Like they got Nurkic, and now they said we don't want you anymore. They moved him. They got Brad, then they were like, yo, we want Jimmy Butler. We trying to move you out of here. That just tells you those two deals were bad deals. Now, if you're Bradley Beal, you're going, what y'all looking at me for? Like, I took the money. I got the no trade. Anybody else in my shoes
would have took it.
Would have took it. Because he wasn't. You look at those Wizards teams. They had John Wall. Bradley Beal was a main player on those teams, but that was John Wall's team.
Right.
He was the one that made it happen.
Yeah, he just got hurt.
Right. He was the one that made it happen. So Brad was the two option, But then when you average 30 in a couple of years, back to back, you played all 82 games. For the Wizards, the value went up here. But I will tell you this: Wizards couldn't get they couldn't get rid of that contract fast enough. They couldn't get rid of that contract fast enough. Now they can actually do some work. Now they're obviously rebuilding.
Yeah.
But Cooper Flag may be on the way. So they get ready to be if they can get that. If they can get Cooper. They're about to be doing this, now. So I see your point with Brad that, maybe it's like, okay, look, man, now the team you on is – but if you're the guy that they're trying to move, are you really interested in helping them out?
You're not, right. It's exactly what I'm saying. It's like,
you know what I'm saying? Are you really ready helping them out?
Like you can put a gun to my head if you're a franchise player,
right.
But not if you're the second or maybe even third best player on the team. We have no flexibility because of the contract we have with you. Like that's over.
But I hear you, but at the same time, Bradley Beal, like, yo,
Bradley
ain't moving this trade clause. I'm not doing that unless y'all
that's none of my business. Yeah.
Right.
That's why I signed it.
right.
You can't just call me at 2:00 in the morning and say you're in Utah. Right? Like, oh wait, what?
So what are you projecting forward? Where do you see Kevin going this offseason? Do you have any ideas? Is Houston a better?
Houston is the talk. Houston is the talk, but they could use obviously someone like him, to be a closer. They got everything else. They got a big that can play. I like Sengun. He does work, but you're gonna have to give up some of them younger pieces.
They got several pieces though. They're almost where Memphis was a year ago. Too deep at every position. Almost.
Right. I will say this. I was in Houston when they last played in Houston. And Cam Whitmore was out there playing. I said, could Cam Whitmore start for the Suns? He said, a guy told me, he said, yes, right now. He would start for the Suns. That would be Kevin, Devin, Brad, Cam Whitmore, and Nick Richards.
Oh.
So I have another quick question for you, though. I've seen two big men have issues with the coach. What is with the coach and the 5 spot over there in Phoenix?
Well, this is a new coach. Ayton had the problem with
Ayton had the problem with Monty with Monty Williams. But then
are you asking about Ayton and Monty, or are you asking about Nurkic and Budenholzer, or are you just saying Suns bigs in general?
Both. So I'm asking specifically about Budenholzer and Nurkic because that just went sour really, really fast. Yeah. But it just seems like perhaps the way their team is currently constructed, that big men just are not that big of a factor, and they get tired of running up and down the court, just kind of
doing cardio,
waiting for you to pass the ball to Booker or Durant.
Real quick, Cleveland, this is kind of what I was getting at. One of the fans asked, why is Booker getting a pass? Right. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I understand he's a homegrown kid, if you will, and he's been through it all. He was in the finals, but has he been all that we expected Booker to be in his career? In his 8 years there?
Well, he's 10 years in. The question as far as Booker, how come he's not being held accountable for the lack of success on the team? He's been a turnover machine, and that's the problem. Like, you can't have him being the primary ball handler and him turning the ball over. So that's his issue. That's the issue that he's had, and he's not defending at the level. The funny about the Olympics, they're like, oh, well, Devin Booker can guard. I'm sitting there going, listen, the responsibility of guarding in the league is different than the responsibility in the Olympics, and you don't have to do all this offensive stuff in the Olympics. He had Kevin, he had LeBron, he had Steph. You know what I mean? And they weren't asking him to go out and get 26, 28 points. They just were like, dude, guard.
Right.
On one night you might have 15. Right. Next night you might have 4 or 5, 6 points. Sure. So that's one of the things. And he's being held accountable in the sense of he turns the ball over. He had 3 straight turnovers against Minnesota in the last game that turned the whole game around. You're sitting there going, dude, you can't do that. So that's his. That he hasn't had the kind of year that people thought he would. So don't get me wrong. There are some Suns folks that are like Suns fans are like, yo, Devin isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. But again, if you got to choose to keep one for the Suns people, it would be Devin over Kevin. Is Kevin the better player? Yes. Has he had the better career? Absolutely. But the one thing you got to remember about Devin Booker wasn't supposed to be Devin Booker when he got there. He was supposed to be a complimentary piece. Okay, we're adding you. Mm-hmm. When they drafted Ayton was supposed to be that guy to pair up with Devin Booker. You're the top overall pick, Cam. I know you got that look on your face. Top overall pick. Devin was 13th overall pick. Okay, when you draft a guy number 1 overall, he's supposed to be the guy to pair up with Devin. And I'll put it to you this way. Talking with Devin about Ayton his rookie year. You know what Devin said about Ayton? He said, you need to be 30 and 20. That's the talent that you have. When he was a rookie, he set the bar here for the guy. So he was supposed to be the guy. And then
he did that 2 weeks out of his career. Huh? I think he went 20 and or what did he do in the finals? What was his? He was 20.
Probably was around what has been his average, like 19 and 12 or whatever, 18 and 12. I don't think he did 20. He might have did 20 and something in a series.
Yeah, in the series. That's all. Yeah, it was just a series.
Yeah, when they got to the finals, it was a Giannis show. And he was getting Ayton in foul trouble. Ayton was watching more than he was playing, and that was a huge part of the series. But again, Kevin's the better player. But you're looking at Kevin and going, okay, 36 years old. The other guy's 28 years old. Devin's in his prime. Kevin, as great as he is, he's not. We know who the better player is, Cam. We know it.
You can still get a couple pieces to pair with Devin. I get it. But that was a question I was trying to get at earlier. What my guy asked. Appreciate you for chiming in, SB. With that being said, kind of along the same veins, Cleveland, and I'm gonna come back to you, Cleveland. Excuse me.
Because he's ready.
I thought
he wants you to pass him the ball. He ready. Go ahead, Cam. In your element.
I thought Devin Booker, the year with Chris Paul,
was
good for him.
Yes.
I expected him coming back and taking everything he learned from that year and being much better than what we saw. And when we came back that next year without Chris Paul, we saw the same guy that we saw prior to Chris Paul. And that was kind of deflating to me just as a hoop fan. I expected him, Devin, when are you going to take the next step? I haven't seen that step taken.
No. I agree. There's another level for him.
Yeah.
And he hasn't reached that level. But you know what? You look at some of these guys that's in the league, these younger guys. Like Devin is 28 years old, but he's 10 years in. And some of these younger guys that's coming in, the Shays of the world, the Johns of the world, Anthony Edwards of the world. Anthony Edwards looks at Devin Booker like, hey, dude, I'm that dude.
Right, yeah.
You're not that dude. I'm that dude. Ja looks at him and goes, I'm that dude. You're not that dude. Shay, I'm that dude. You not that dude. Luka, I'm that dude.
Luka especially.
You not that dude.
Luka especially.
For those four. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those deals. Like Devin has his moments, and again, he's having a quote very good year, but not the year that we thought he would have. No
is that coaching? Is that coaching, or is that personal responsibility to improve your game?
It's both. It's both.
Okay.
I mean, Budenholzer doesn't necessarily this random offense. I'm still looking at it and going, what is it?
Well, he's trying to figure out what he has still.
But how many games is he in, Cam?
Well, yeah,
isn't the 23rd game?
Yeah,
isn't the 44th game?
Yeah,
Season's almost over. All right? You got to figure it out, yo. I ain't giving him that pass, yo. Okay. Not doing that. No, I'm not giving that pass. But there's something to it, but that's not all of it. Like, I think, like, to ask Devin to be this guy that takes the ball, put him in ISO. See, with Monty, the 0.5 was perfect. Ball moving, ball popping, he catch and shoot. Couple dribbles, shoot. Now Devin got to look at the defense, and it's like they sitting there waiting. All right, now I got to go in, and I got to be thinking I got to pass if something happens. The aggressiveness to go get buckets is kind of nullified a little bit because he's thinking I got to get other guys involved. He's passed up shots, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
2018, 2019, Devin? Oh, he's shooting that.
He's shooting right.
He's shooting that. But there are games where he shoots a lot, and then that's when it comes back to your guy, Kevin, and they're going, how come Kevin only took 13 shots? How come he only took 14 shots? What are they doing? So
that's been an argument.
They haven't.
That's been an argument against Kevin Durant since he was in OKC. A little too, as great as he is, he's just that same passive. As great as a player he is, he's just as passive. And that's just been a complaint of mine about Kevin Durant. Cleveland, what do you got?
So from the outside looking in, between age, contract, and fit of the players currently on the team, the way it's currently constructed,
right,
and also the fact that the Western Conference is constantly evolving and players are constantly getting better and it's changing. It seems like the Phoenix Suns are becoming an afterthought, and I don't see a way that they can really change that. Do you see a way that they get like supremely better and kind of take the most advantage of the talent they have at present and kind of fix their problems, or does it seem like it's just a train wreck?
They got to get under the apron. I'm sorry.
Right.
When they get under that second apron, then they can do something. But
how do they do that with the contract that they have and the players that are all like, no, I don't want to leave Scottsdale. It's cool here. It's sunny all the time, and everybody likes me.
Well, Brad's the only one that that can stop a trade. All the rest of them dudes is fair game. Now, if you're looking at the roster, right, you're going, okay. I've been working on a story about all this, so it'll be coming this weekend. But the point I'm getting at
before you get there, where can we find the article?
It'll be on. I mean, I'll be tweeting it on my on Twitter, Dwayne Rankin, and then it'll be on azcentral.com.
There we go.
One of the things I'm working on is, okay, what can they do? And you're looking at Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. One of those guys, you can move one of them. They're killing them in taxes. Mm-hmm. When they re-signed them, the luxury tax went absolutely, through the roof even more. You know what I mean? So you can move one. You can move one of them. I mean, they essentially do the same thing. Shoot threes, right? You get somebody else to do that and have less money on his contract. So they can, and I'm talking about not having to pay that tax,
right?
The luxury tax. So they're in the repeater tax right now, and it's killing them. It's killing them. You know what I mean?
Doesn't give them any flexibility.
Right. I mean, it's just the money. You're like we know Matt Ishby. I mean, the guy. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, what he's spending. Like he had the first $400 million team in the league. I mean, it's incredible the money he's spending. So I don't think he has an issue with spending money. But what I'm saying is, if you have Grayson Allen, he signs a 4-year, $70 million extension. I think his first year was $15 million. I'm going to address this question. I see it. I think he's making like $15 million, something like that this year. I'm not sure on the exact number, but it's like cost them $70-something million in tax because the way they re-signed. So his salary is this.
Right.
The actual money he's costing them is far greater. So you're looking at that and going, so I'm paying all of this, and you're only giving me this and no defense on top of that? Yo, they could make a move with some other guys outside of the whole debate that you're saying, Kevin or Devin, that can help as well. Then you can get some because Mike Budenholzer, he was truly blessed in Milwaukee. He had Giannis,
Young Giannis.
Giannis, Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday, prime defense Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton could guard too.
Pre-injury,
Middleton
yeah.
could create his own shot. Holiday knocked down threes. We know what Giannis did. And Brook protected the paint and shot threes.
Yeah.
And they had Bobby Portis coming off the bench, and the Bucks fans chanting, Bobby, going absolutely nuts over this guy. Connaughton, hustle guy. He had it good. There's a reason they were winning 60-something games.
Right.
He don't have that team like that.
Right.
Like Kevin Durant shouldn't be the best defender or second best defender on the team. Right. But he is. You shouldn't be asking your 36-year-old to be out there guarding Anthony Edwards. Edwards is looking at him like, oh, really?
Yeah.
You gonna put me? You my guy. You the guy I love. You my favorite player, but you can't guard me, dog. You can't do it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to figure out a way to get a mix of, because we know Budenholzer, he wants to shoot three, because they want to outscore teams because he already knows they can't guard on the other end well enough to win games.
Yeah.
This is to your point, bro, about what they got to do to change up the roster. Is it's a train wreck. It's been a train wreck this year. If you don't move somebody, it's going to be a train wreck next year. Like I don't see where if you stay pat, that all of a sudden, they're going to figure it out.
They're going to figure it out. It's going to start clicking.
Going to run. No, I don't see that unless you do some stuff underneath those three guys to improve the roster. Problem is you can't do that if you're over the second tax apron. You're going to keep signing these vet minimum dudes who coming in like, well, you only paying me $3 million. You want me to do all that?
And you get
what?
Nah.
I'm getting ready to go somewhere else and get this $3 million and do less. You know what I mean?
Couple more questions for you, Rankin, before I let you go. And once again, let the people know where they can find you on social media and then where they can find your articles.
Yeah, you can find me on Dwayne Rankin on X / formerly known as Twitter. I'm Rank Barnes on Instagram and hey, look, this has been. You talk about disappointing. When you see them give up 23s to Toronto, and Boucher is just killing them. I mean, he just eating like 5 of 6 or 5 or 7 from 3. You're like, that's a bad basketball team.
Right.
You don't let this guy do that, man.
A rookie.
No, I'm talking about Boucher. I'm talking about the thin bro Toronto guy who you sit there watching. You like, he doing this? He doing this?
This guy's doing that to us? Yeah.
That can't happen. New Orleans, Zion, he said, yo, I'm about to get this triple double on y'all. I'm about to be LeBron tonight.
Wow.
And say, yo, that's bad basketball, okay?
They're coming in the building with that confidence.
Oh my God, he talked about DiVincenzo did the bounce lob. He tried to Anthony Edwards into the game. That's Harlem Globetrotter stuff in the NBA. That's what the Suns wore that night. It's like they sit there going, yo, we beating y'all so bad. We gonna try a bounce lob dunk in transition on you. That's what we gonna try. That's where they were the other night. So that's why last night's win was big, because it was like, yo, y'all gotta respond to that. I mean, Minnesota was just clowning y'all. So they did in the fourth quarter and pulled it out. We know the Clippers helped the cause, but they got Denver, Dallas, who they should be, considering where Dallas is, though. Right. They got Denver, Dallas, Memphis, and Houston coming up. Okay. They got the toughest remaining schedule. Train wreck, bruh. Train wreck.
Yeah. So here, this is an interesting question here. One of the fans.
I see Mark Jackson, yeah.
Mark Jackson, what's the word? Is he actually looking for work? Because he hasn't got a job. They do a lot of retreading. but he hasn't. He's been out of work for a long time now. Seems like.
Right, he has. But you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing him back in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing him back in the game because I think that he has, quote, learned some stuff, from being away from the game. Hey, look, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, it don't happen without Mark Jackson.
Right, exactly.
He had the vision to let those guys, dog, y'all so good at shooting this ball, shoot that damn ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then Steve Kerr reaped the benefits of that. Now, granted, you got to give Kerr his props. They won a championship with him as the coach, so you got to give him his props. But Mark Jackson planted that seed of this is how you can play. Yeah, and all these teams are doing it now. They the ones started this. And he started that with those two. All these other teams are now following suit. Teams shot threes, but not with regardless of the situation, pull up threes, breaking the offense off of that.
Yeah, like
it was them.
It was different.
It was the Warriors that started that. Now these teams are taking it to another level, shooting 50+ threes. Boston is absolutely ridiculous. You watch them play; they got 4 dudes standing around the 3-point line, and the one guy at the free throw line is ready to pop out and shoot a 3 himself.
As soon as you get rid of the ball, yeah.
Right. He's just an outlet. All right, well, look, Jalen Brown goes, well, it ain't there, dog. You catch it for a minute. We're going to move around. Maybe we'll cut off for you. Okay, then Tatum for a 3. It's insane watching them play. But Cleveland does the exact same thing. Bunch of perimeter guys that shoot threes. So, but it started.
They got 2 big men, though. What's different about Cleveland is they got 2 big men.
They do, but it's still Donovan and them jacking them up. But you're right. They got Mobley and Allen and those guys. That's the difference between Cleveland and Boston in that sense. You're right. But I wouldn't mind seeing Mark get a job. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting if he was coaching Phoenix. That would be very. It would be nice to see. It would be nice to see him come back in. I'm gonna let you go on this one. Now you were standing right next to me when I asked Kevin Durant about playing the one-on-one in the one-on-one. He took over the interviews, bro. I just want you to know that. Took over the interview. Literally, he took over the interview. Dude was looking at him like, yo, bro. He was taking shots, bro. He was taking shots. He got a heater and kept cooking. Go ahead. My bad.
No, we had a nice mutual dialogue going on.
Oh, y'all definitely did.
Nonetheless, so that conversation was hot one-on-one tournament. Do you think we'll ever see that? Number one, and then could you give me a winner today in today's game? Now, the guy I'll throw this out there. One of the guys I thought would at least be in the finals until he blew out his knee the other day was Kyrie.
Right, Kyrie.
I think him blowing out his knee obviously sets him back. But do you see that actually happening? And then can you project a winner from that?
They got to do something. They got to do something. You know what I mean? To spice it up more. I mean, because right now, that would be interesting because it would bring out the competitiveness in guys, which is what they're saying is lacking in the All-Star game itself. Is the competitive nature of it, then yeah, I think it would be. I think you could do the All-Stars. I think you do similar to what they did as far as breaking them up, and then have like, okay, flip a coin who goes first, and the guy be sitting there on one side and go, okay, I want to go against him. This point, just go. I want you.
You want to call him out. You don't want to put up the roster. Yeah, you want to call him out.
Yeah. I don't want no setup deal. No, I don't want no setup. No. So you line them up and you sit there and the dudes and they say, okay, who's going first for you? And they say, okay, Luka's going first. Luka comes out and says, I want him.
Ooh.
I want him. And then if Luka scores, next person, maybe you do the first 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
If Luka wins, then the next guy comes up and he gets to choose. If Luka loses, the other team's guy gets to choose. And then he can go, and maybe it's Shea, and Shea goes, okay, I want Donovan. Bring him on out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you playing a 5 or are you playing to 11?
No. He said 3 to 5.
Just 3. Just go 3. Like maybe I have a small number. And then ultimately you want to get to like 21. You can do like if there's 8, like if there's 8 guys, 3-8, that's 24. You could do 5 and make it 8-5. I guess that's 4. I guess you could do that. Yeah. But I'm thinking 3 because there would be like You know, I think it'd be harder, you know, more pressing. They would be more competitive. Okay, if I let this dude score 3 times, it's over. I got to sit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think 5 gives a little bit too much leeway. Okay, well, if I give up a couple, maybe I get it. And
that's a good point. That's a good point right there.
And I'm not giving you 2 for 3s. No, you get 1 point.
Yeah, 1 bucket.
I don't care if you're shooting from 40 feet out. You get 1 point. That's it. Because when you play one-on-one in the park, they weren't giving you 2s or 3 because you shot a 3. No.
Yeah.
No. Like, no. It's 1-1. It's 2-1. So I like the idea when you brought it up, you know, because initially someone else brought it up, bro.
Right. Yeah.
And then this dude comes back in on the subject. All right. And so he came a little harder because somebody was asked first about it, and he was like, "What's on the line?" You know,
right.
Is it money? She said something like pride. He's like, "What pride?" No.
Yeah, we play for pride all the time.
Pride all the time. No. Put some money on the table, and then we can make something happen. I think if you do that, if you group them up, do the same thing you just did, the 8 split ups, right? And if you really want to make it funky, you can have 8 going 8 on 8 on one end.
Ooh.
8 on 8 on the other end.
Ooh, keep it just action.
So you sitting there watching, you like, oh, y'all, what's going on over there? And then when that's over, the 2 winners, bring them together, give them like a 5-minute, you know, you're obviously going to do TV and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like 3 gets you in and out now, as opposed to 5, I think it takes longer. So
you're right.
That's what I would do. If you're going to do it, have the dude point a guy out. Could you imagine if Kevin Durant was in that and he said, "I want LeBron"?
Ooh. I mean, just getting called out is gonna raise the
right. You're getting called out.
I like that.
Getting called out. Giannis is saying, "I want Jokic."
Yeah,
bring him on out here. Get some of this, and then Jokic would be backing him down. Throwing up crazy shots. Come on, man. Hey, Cam, you planted the seed. Let's do it. Let's put our names on it. All right?
Man, we're going to put this together, fans. You have heard it here. This is the good stuff that you get with Dwayne Rankin. Make sure you follow my man on Twitter. Make sure you follow him at Arizona Republic. Follow his stuff. Let the people know once again where they can find you, Dwayne.
Dwayne Rankin, DUANE, Blame my mom for the spelling. She could have put a W in there because everybody calls me Dwayne anyway, but I love her dearly. You know, it's DUANE, and then on IG it's Rank Barnes. That was like a nickname when my homies put on me. Rest in peace, and it just stuck. So I dedicated that to him by making it Rank Barnes. So he took a nickname and half of my last name and put it together. And that's my guy. So, but yeah, you can find me on either one of those, and azcentral.com is where my stories are. But yeah, Cam, me and you, let's make it crack.
Let's make it cracking, man. I got your information. We'll talk soon, Chief. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for
nice to meet you, bro. Y'all be easy.
Right. Roy, Dwayne said put them up together against each other. Like, well, I like that.
I like the component that he added to it, which was you get to decide who you want to go one-on-one with. Obviously, as you
now he changing. He going right and changing some personalities too with that. Like that's changing. That's really getting challenging the guys. I like that. I like that attitude. We're gonna have to work on that
because now you're putting the onus on them to determine how hard they're going to play or not going to play. You know what I'm saying? If you get called out, obviously that's one of the motivating factors to make you play harder in that type of situation and environment. Obviously, the biggest problem being is it's hard to match up players just from a skill set perspective. But if you can just, no, I'm taking you out. Yeah, that's a little bit more.
That was dope. I mean, that was dope. I like that. Make sure you guys hit up Dwayne Rankin. Check him out on the social media. Arizona Republic, Arizona Central. Excuse me. Cleveland. Let's keep this talk about the NBA up. T-Wolves just a couple of days ago, they embarrassed the Suns with the win. The Suns bounced back by beating the Clippers. Do you agree with his feedback and his commentary on the Suns?
Yeah, I mean, he's right there very close to the source. I think the challenge becomes, they have to get under the tax apron, and they have to move one of those guys, but those guys seem very stubborn to move. And he's already said that Devin Booker's a non-starter. That's not a conversation. So you can't move Bradley Beal without his permission. And Kevin Durant has been very surly about wanting to go other places. So if that's the solution, it seems very difficult to accomplish just because of the impediments that you have to doing that. One, you're not going to move Devin, and two, you have to ask Bradley Beal if he will go there. So,
well,
he's going to be real pouty about it. So, the Grayson Allen and the O'Neal, it's like, okay, you can move those guys and get cheaper shooters, but does that really solve your problem? It's kind of hard to figure that would be the.
Well, you're gonna have to build a roster around these guys, and however you move them, whoever you exchange, I think that's going to be a challenge because you can't bring any big name or big guys with a heavy price tag in. So that's going to be a challenge. As we talked about, they're sitting Joel Embiid for the rest of the season. Paul George is probably going to be sitting here before too long. And that leaves Tyrese Maxey out here running by himself. Like the Sixers, man. Are the Sixers, who's in worse position? The Philadelphia 76ers or your Dallas Mavericks?
The Dallas Mavericks are in a worse position.
I mean, both of the team stars are injured. Both the team stars are out for the rest of the year.
Are you talking about for this season or going forward in the future?
I mean, going forward in the future, because neither one of them is going to make a playoff run.
Well, Kyrie Irving's not coming back until late next year. It's an ACL. Anthony Davis has always been fragile. Klay Thompson is, not happy with his situation. It's not at all what he signed up for. So, yeah. They have a whole bunch of stuff, and the fans don't like them. So,
oh my goodness gracious!
There's a whole bunch of stuff to deal with in Dallas. And Philadelphia, it's just a matter of getting healthy and hoping that Tyrese Maxey doesn't turn on you and ask for a trade because you put all of this on him.
I mean, he did ask for a trade earlier before the season started, if I remember correctly, and then. Embiid put his arm around him, and they said we're making some moves to take the pressure off you, and they're right back in the same situation. Kyrie out for the season with his torn ACL. Cleveland, does Kyrie get Mamba points for getting help to the line and making those free throws?
No.
That's what he was. That's what he was searching for.
Kobe Bryant ruptured his Achilles tendon. I've done that 2 times. What's up, Boots? I've done that 2 times. There's no way you can walk on without a tendon attached to your foot. Recall Klay Thompson did the same thing, right? Remember with the torn ACL. You remember when he
got fouled. He got fouled.
You can't come back to the game.
Right.
He went the tunnel. He was jumping up and down. You can do that. You cannot do that if you're into your foot and your ankle is gone. So how Kobe did that is still remarkable.
What's up, Boots? Thanks for tuning in, big dog. Yeah, Sixers in trouble, man. They need to start when you say start over. I mean, you gotta start with somebody, right?
No, they've started over a few many times. That's what trust the process was about, was the start over. And then they had that team with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and then they couldn't decide who was really whose team it was. And then Doc Rivers came in and said, "Oh yeah, it's Joel Embiid's team, mine." And then Ben Simmons was never heard from again. So rebuild with this much salary and this much talent, I would say get healthy more so than normal.
Well, we'll see if some months off will help them out with the health anyway. Oh, fans, this pains me we're gonna make this a quick conversation. But that other team in Los Angeles, not the Clippers, that other team that plays in the crypto, shame on Adam Silver for not rescinding that trade. He rescinded the wrong trade. They give him Mark Williams. Send Luka back to Dallas, Adam. That's unfair to the league. It's unfair to the league. How does Luka and LeBron obviously become the first Laker duo to record 30 points and hit 5 threes in a game? Like, this is unfair, Adam Silver. You got to rescind that trade, and you got to do it before the playoffs. What do you think about that, Cleveland?
Oh, I think that sounds just like a Clipper fan.
SGA goes for 50 for a fourth time this season. Do you still not believe in SGA or the OKC Thunder?
I believe that SGA is a generational talent. He's a great player.
Say he's the MVP this year. Go ahead and say it. He's the MVP this year. Go ahead and say it.
The Joker's averaging a 30-point triple-double, so not quite just yet. And you'll have to see if the Oklahoma City Thunder can get to that next level. I'm not convinced just yet.
Have you seen a better thief than Dyson Daniels? A better somebody who locks you up and steals the ball from you. Have you seen a better player do that than Dyson Daniels?
Matisse Thybulle when he's healthy.
Oh, come on. Thank you, Boots. This is what I've been saying since the beginning of the first week of the season, I believe I said that, Boots. Thybulle, is that what you gave me? I don't think Thybulle was averaging 3 steals per game. Dyson Daniels is getting 3 steals a game. And it's not the steals where Allen Iverson got, where you're just in the passing lane and, you're just reaching. These are literally somebody's trying to cross them up, he rips them, and then they're going the other way. The Atlanta Hawks are. This dude, are you familiar with his game, though, for all seriousness?
Yeah, tell me all about it, Cam.
Huh?
Tell me all about it.
Well, no, he's a thief. I mean, that's one of the shining armors because he plays on Atlanta Hawks with another ball hog, frequent shooter that I don't know enough about that guy, but Lou Dort, is Lou Dort getting rips like that though? What is Lou Dort averaging per game? He's a good defender.
Well, I mean, whatever Lou Dort is getting, if it's somewhere between 2 and 3, it's more helpful with regards to wins and losses, right?
Well, yes. This wasn't about does his game equate to wins, but I understand why you would say that. But that's not really what the question was about. And Lou Dort is averaging 1 steal per game there, SB. 1 steal per game. Dyson Daniels is averaging 3 steals per game.
Incredible.
That's a difference. That's a difference. That's all I'm saying. Cleveland, you got 30 seconds to talk about your Lakers.
Oh, it's nothing to talk about other than I like the way that they've incorporated Luka Doncic into Laker fans.
I like the way they incorporated him. You roll the ball out. That's how you incorporate him. You roll the ball out. You don't have to do anything.
This is my 30 seconds. This is my 30 seconds. Why are you interrupting my 30 seconds? He's been a great addition. 26
seconds left.
The culture seems to have embraced him, and he seems to have embraced the culture. I see good things in the future. The two of them, both ball dominated, have somehow found a way to kind of share and be productive. And in addition, I think that perhaps the trade and all the talk about him is, somewhat lit a fire under him. And, I think, we'll probably get to see the best Luka that he has to offer in Los Angeles in the purple and gold. So,
all right, time's up. I made it, fans. I made it through that garbage. Oh, they look kind of scary, I have to say. They do look kind of scary. LeBron playing off the ball. He can just pass the ball to somebody else who's going to actually pass the ball back to him in the right spot for alley-oop. So, yeah, enough of those guys. Enough of those guys. Can't wait till OKC handles them. Steals is an overrated stat. What?
Thank you, SB.
What?
I mean, he completely danced around the part where the steals are lead to 29 and 34. Like it's not even
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, SB? I'm shocked that you would have this opinion.
Why? The team the player that leads the league in steals plays on a losing team. It doesn't really make
just because he's on that team. You put his 3 steals per game.
So what you're saying is
you put that on an OKC.
It's not.
You put that on a Phoenix. Those are different.
As significant as they're making it out to be because he plays on a losing team.
No, because he plays with a point guard who just chucks it up and don't know how to get everybody else involved. Because the Atlanta Hawks stink. That's why he's on a losing team. He could happen to get drafted by them, and he's there.
The stat doesn't make them any better. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness. I'm surprised, SB, you would have that feedback. I'm surprised you would have that response. I'm really surprised at you. Let's talk about the NFL, Cleveland. Saquon gets paid. Now, I asked you a couple weeks ago. Well, I asked you at the end of the season, the year that Saquon had, would that change things for other NFL teams looking at running backs? Would that change things? And we see obviously it was Saquon and Derrick Henry having who's having the best season from a running back. That was most of the season. And we saw Saquon get rushed for over 2,000 yards. Didn't have a special game in the Super Bowl, but the threat of the run allowed them to get to the Super Bowl when they completed some big passes. Do you agree? Are more teams going to be looking to pay their running backs this season? No, so you still don't feel he's a difference maker in the owner's eyes?
No, not universally across the league. The other teams understand who they have running the ball, and it's not Saquon Barkley. So you're not just going to give your running back $20 million a season because Saquon got it. Saquon got it because he's Saquon.
So nobody's going to have a newer emphasis on the run game. You don't anticipate?
I believe they will have a greater emphasis on the run game, but the person running the ball is not going to be getting $20 million just because Saquon got it. He's not setting the market. Let's put it like that.
Well, I think he did set the market. Yeah, they signed him for 2 years, like 42 a year though. But they signed him for 2 years.
Again, the Seahawks aren't going to run out and give Kenneth Walker the third $20 million a year because Saquon got $20 million a year.
Well, no, okay. I mean, just not everybody's going to get that $20 million.
Right. So, for example, like the receivers that are all getting those $30 million, they're all catching 100 passes and going for 1,300 yards. That's why they get the money. No one else is going for 2,000. No one else is going for 1,900. No one else is even close to that other than Saquon and King Henry. So, to base the value of your running back on what they did is just not realistic or accurate.
Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. You're saying, is my running back is Kenneth Walker III or Charbonnet going to now rush for 2,000 yards if I gave him $19 million a year? Fair, you're accurate in that assessment. However, the emphasis on the running game, and this is something I think I wrote about this towards November. The emphasis on the running back game is going to have to increase. It only makes sense. It only makes sense that it increases because when you have a guy like Saquon essentially lead the Eagles to the Super Bowl on his 2,000 yards rushing, teams are going to have to see that
running game all you like. But if J.K. Dobbins is your featured back, you're not going to give him $20 million just because you're emphasizing the run.
Right. Yes, you're right about that. But yes, if you have somebody who you're confident in can carry that load.
But that's the whole point, Cameron. Nobody has the confidence in their running back like they have in Saquon or King Derrick or King Henry. Nobody even close.
You have to continue to rush the ball. That's the point I'm making. You're going to have to continue to place an emphasis on the running game. This Super Bowl winners have done this throughout history of the Super Bowl, and why this is falling on deaf ears is beyond me. But you have to have an emphasis on the running
So this
game.
is only the second two. Oh, well, okay. I feel what you're saying.
Do you think? SB, I need
Tell him,
your,
SB.
I need you to come on the show.
Tell him, SB.
I need your email address.
Uh-huh.
Put your email address in. In fact, you got my number. Text me your email address. We will have you on the show next week to have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
No, Allen Iverson was not a great defender, but Allen Iverson played the passing lanes, and I think I pointed that out. And these aren't the steals where
My
he's just
goodness,
playing
Cameron,
the
are you still on this steals thing for that guy from the Atlanta Hawks? You can't even remember his name. What number does he wear?
Is Dyson Daniels.
What number does he wear?
I just seen this comment here, and then I had to respond.
What number does he wear? Cameron, what number does Dyson Daniels wear?
I can't ignore.
How tall is he?
I can't ignore my fans. Oh, he's a 6'7" wingman. He's a 6'7" wingman.
Cameron, you don't know anything about this dude other than you saw some stat where he has 3 steals a game.
No,
he does not impact the game at all.
I actually watched. Well, before this season, I actually watched some Hawks games, actually. And so the Great Barrier Thief, you ever heard of my man? You ever heard of the Great Barrier Thief, dude from Australia?
Bro, you haven't heard of him. Why do you keep going on about this?
I'm just going on because
Come on,
because man. SB put up this comment like he don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm still shocked at you, SB, for that.
Can we talk about playoff hoop and what might change the landscape of the playoffs?
Well, now Atlanta's not in that conversation.
You over here talking about some guy that plays for Atlanta making 3 steals a game, man. Who cares?
Nobody's doing this. This is the point. Nobody is doing this. But okay, I feel you. Depot gets traded to the Commanders. How much better does this make the Commanders? And does this put a hole in San Francisco?
It makes the Commanders better. I don't know how much of a hole it puts in San Francisco other than Shanahan offense. And I actually like this move because it just
I like it too.
Doesn't fall too far from the tree. And this is Shanahan saying, you know what? I'll just get someone else that can run over people and run down the field because it's my system, and I just plug someone else into it, and they'll be
so you're waiting for the collapse. You're waiting for San Francisco.
Oh, the collapse has already started, Cameron.
For the 49ers to go 9-7.
The collapse has already started. Debo's gone. They said Ayuk is what will you give us for Ayuk? CMC is hurting. That's to put it mildly. The offensive line, not so much. And you heard what they gave up, what they offered Brock Purdy.
I didn't even hear that. I didn't even hear it, but I mean, he's going to get 40 or 50 somewhere in there. I mean, he's going to get 40 or 50. They didn't come out. They didn't offer him no 25 mil. They didn't offer him nothing like that.
Start out a little over 40. Which means you can walk to
SB. You make time to come on the show next week, SB. You make time to come on the show. And you got somebody agreeing with you. So this should be, and Cleveland's going to agree with you as well. But we need to have this discussion because
for your guy Brock Purdy, they've already said that you're replaceable. Keep messing around, Sam Darnold's going to be starting quarterback at 49ers.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I bet that's what you want. You being a Seahawks fan in the NFC West, that's what you want. You want Sam Darnold over there, huh?
Oh well, I mean, now that Brock Purdy has no weapons, no, I would prefer you sign Brock Purdy. He's not very big.
So speaking of those Seahawks, I mean, what you guys are playing? You had a nice 3 wide receiver trio for Geno Smith to throw to. Now you waive Tyler Lockett. DK asked for a trade, so now it's only Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be the only receiver for. You're not going to try to run out Bobo, are you?
I'm concerned, Cameron, because it's not so much about the receivers. It's more about the new offensive philosophy, which is just we're just going to run the ball really effectively, but you have no offensive linemen and you don't have any durable running backs. So how are you going to do that?
Ooh, you got sharp
now you don't have any receivers, so even if there's no play action because who are you throwing the ball to? Like you said, it's just Jackson Smith. I'm not saying that DK's out of here. He's requested a trade, which lots of NFL players have done over the years. Doesn't mean you're actually going to get traded, but oh my gosh, you can get a third rounder for him. Be gone.
Tyler wasn't worth $12 million.
No,
he wasn't worth $12 million.
Nope.
What did he do to ruin his relationship with the fans in Seattle?
He did nothing to ruin his relationship with the fans. He still has an outstanding relationship with the fans. Open arms for the rest of his life. He just got old in football years.
I mean, Tyler was still getting open last season. As recently as last season. That's pretty interesting. Matt Stafford stays in LA with the Rams. I don't know what he was thinking about. He went to New York. I think his wife told him, don't even get on a plane and go to New York. And I don't know what he was thinking about, even trying to throw that out there as a tease. But he ends up staying in LA with Sean McVay, which I think was an excellent decision. The Bengals tagged T. Higgins. Chase is still looking at 40. Chase is still wanting $40 million. Does Chase come back to the Bengals next season?
Yeah.
So they're running it back. They're not going. They're running back. I don't know. Was that a good decision? I mean, I don't know what he. If you're paying $40 million, I told you
franchise tag him to give you more time to try and come up with a long-term solution. They don't really have one, and they know that. But it just prolongs the situation. And if someone else wants to trade for him, well, that's where it starts, man.
I told you last year, at the beginning of last year, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle making $30 million apiece is that's not sustainable. That's not sustainable. I told you that at the beginning of the season last year. They will not both be on the team this year making $30 million. Whatever changes get made, Hill gets traded, they reduce the contract, whatever moves get made, they will not be on the same team. That's not sustainable. And you've got a quarterback that's making $50 million a year. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of holes somewhere else. That's what the Bengals are experiencing. Maybe they should trade Higgins. I mean, Higgins is a good player. He's a solid player. It's not that you're itching to get rid of him, but that contract with if you're paying another guy $40 million,
whatever happens, the extension don't kick in this year, so it doesn't count as a cap.
Well, who you talking about? With Higgins? Or
I mean, no,
with Chase?
With T, yes. I mean, the other contract, whatever Jamar comes in with, that kicks in after this season.
I don't know that I might have to trade Higgins. I might have to. You sign him and you can trade him.
I mean, no problem with that if we can't reach a long-term agreement.
Yeah, I might have to trade him because I don't want to let Chase go, but I might have to trade.
But then what you're gonna find when you start trying to trade T. Higgins is that people are going to be very realistic and say, yeah, that's not a true number one. It's a great number two, not a true number one.
I think there's teams around the NFL like the Chargers, i.e. the Chargers.
He's better than their number one right now.
Yes.
That does not mean that he's a true number one.
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying. But if you're the best I got, you gotta run that. You gotta run that wide position.
Okay, but
I understand what you're saying.
But for $35 million, and now we want you to be that guy, and you're not, and you know you're not. You play next to Jamar Chase.
Well, that's the only reason you say it's not a number one because he played next to Jamar Chase. He's not Jamar Chase. There's no argument there. So, but yeah, there's teams around there that need his services. And yeah, I'm calling you up. The Tennessee Titans, the Miami Dolphins. What do you want to do? The Chargers. The Chargers are the first team I'm going to because they absolutely need a receiver. So we'll see what happens. The Chiefs sending Tooney to the Bears for a 2026 fourth-round pick. Oh, man, that was kind of disrespectful, don't you think? Tooney, okay, Tooney's over 30 years old, but Tooney played every position for you guys, a Super Bowl appearing team in the AFC. Last year, he played every position across the line. And you trade that guy for a fourth-round pick? I don't. Good for the Bears, but I don't know that was a good move for the Chiefs. What you think?
They know something we don't. And fourth round is,
that's fair enough.
I get players picked in the fourth round. So,
who was the best quarterback available, Cleveland? Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers. Who's the best quarterback? Am I missing somebody?
Sam Darnold is the best quarterback available.
Sam Darnold is the best quarterback. Where do you have? Is he going to end up with the Vikings, or is he going to end up somewhere else?
Can't say for sure. I think probably back with the Vikings.
Who's the Steelers quarterback next season?
No clue.
Do you run it back with Justin Fields?
No.
I mean, have you talked to Tomlin? See who gauge his appreciation for the quarterback?
He's been real hush about the whole situation. Won't even talk to me about it.
Oh, you turn your phone off, huh? That's going to be interesting. Kirk Cousins to back up Penix. So somebody pry Kirk Cousins away from Atlanta?
Yeah. It wouldn't take a whole lot to do.
Well, you would think, but he got a hefty price tag as well. The Cowboys restructured Dak and CD's contracts, opens up about $55 million. That's finally a good move for the Chargers. Release Bosa. Yeah, Bosa. The surprising part about that is Bosa's been there his whole career. But he's at that point where he's going to get upwards of $25 million, so they didn't want to pay that. That's simply what that is, and they can just allocate that money elsewhere. But thanks for bringing that up, Boots.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, we'll take him on a flyer. Prove a year up here. Yeah.
Yeah, he might end up in San Francisco actually playing with his brother. That'd be crazy. Two bookend brothers on the same line. That'd be crazy because I know he was interested in going there before they signed the new regime. That was some of the talk is like, would you go play with your brother? He's like, absolutely. Max Crosby gets paid and then campaigned for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams to come to Vegas. Adams to come back to Vegas. What do you think about what they're doing in Vegas?
Oh, well, I mean, that's up to Pete Carroll. Pom Pom Pete. He usually likes him a little bit younger and, a little bit more flexible, a little bit more open to the message. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams this long into their career are going to be listening to lean on me speeches. Like Pete likes
well, apparently it's your boy TB12 making all the decisions over there for the Raiders.
Well, I don't know about all the decisions. He doesn't coach the team, so.
Well, he put the coach in place, and I think he might say, "Hey, here's a few things I want to see done." We'll see how things go.
Yeah, wow. With the 7% ownership, I don't think he has that kind of power. Cut it out.
I don't know. Best free agent available. Slay is available, the cornerback for the Eagles. Tyler Lockett, Myles Garrett. Who you putting your money on?
Myles Garrett's not a free agent.
Well, yeah, he's not a free agent. That's right. Yeah, just as a Raider. Who you putting your money on?
Oh, I don't think there's going to be any real big free agent splashes here. I think it all is going to come down to players that get cut for salary cap implications, and we'll go from there. But just straight up free agents, not so much.
The Dolphins and Bradley Chubb agreed to a restructured contract. You throw that restructure or you're out. I mean, I restructured my contract too if I was in South Beach, Bradley. Good job out of you. Hard Knocks is apparently not going to follow Bill Belichick in UNC this year. How do you feel about that?
Feel better about it. It's kind of hard to have Hard Knocks on a college campus. That's a little intrusive.
Ooh. Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. As always, we didn't play our numbers game. We had a special guest on the show this week, Cleveland. But we got some interesting topics from this week in history. Crispus Attucks.
Crispus Attucks.
A mulatto sailor rope maker and runaway was shot and killed when he became in what would become the Boston Massacre in 1770. Cleveland, you should have known that. You should have known that date for me. Shortly after returning, this happened March 8th, 1964. Shortly after returning from his trip to Mecca, Malcolm X leaves the Nation of Islam. 3/6/1991, Cleveland, LaTarsha Harlins, an unarmed 15-year-old African-American girl, was shot and killed by Soon Ja-doo, a Korean-American store owner who was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, given a sentence of 5 years of probation, 400 hours of community service, Cleveland, and a $500 fine. Did you hear what I said? She was given, for killing the girl, she was given 400 hours of community service and a $500 fine. How atrocious. Cleveland, 3/9/1997, what happened? 3/9/1997. What rapper was killed?
Oh, the Notorious B.I.G.
1997, that happened in Los Angeles. 3/5/1993, the disgraced Olympic sprinter Ben Johnson has been banned from athletics for life for failing a drug test for the second time. 3/6/1976, 17-year-old Puerto Rican boxer Wilfred Benitez won a 15-round split decision in San Juan, Puerto Rico, to become the youngest ever world champion. March 4th, 1927, Cleveland. Babe Ruth becomes the highest player in baseball or in Major League Baseball history when he signed a 3-year, $70,000 per season contract with the New York Yankees. $70,000 he was making per season in 1927. Another where were you moment, Cleveland. In March 4th, 1990, Hank Gathers collapsed on the court and eventually dies. You remember where you were when you heard about that?
I don't remember where I was. I remember it being a very big deal and seeing the repeat over and over again. It was very tragic.
Tragic for sure. March 4th, 1968, Joe Frazier takes his 20-0 record to capture the vacant heavyweight boxing title. Who did he stop? Do you know who he stopped in the 11th round at Madison Square Garden?
I do not to get the title.
Buster Mathis. March 4th, 1980, Mike Bossy records a 40th hat trick in the New York Islander franchise history. This is March 4th, 1980. March 4th, 1993, first EPSI awards go to who? Who the first EPSI awards go to, Cleveland?
I'm pretty sure it's Michael Jordan. It's got to be Michael Jordan. Who else would it be?
Well, that was one of them, so you're half right. And Monica Seles actually won one too. Shout out to Monica. How good would Monica Seles have been if she didn't get stabbed in the back?
It's very hard to say. She was well on her way to accomplishing great things.
Didn't she already have some?
Quite a few. I think she was at 4 or 5 when she got stabbed.
Yeah, that was so tragic. March 4th, 1995, Cleveland. George Foreman loses his WBA title because he refuses to fight Tony Tucker. There was I don't remember exactly everything about that one, but Tony Tucker, George. March 4th, 1984, tennis legend Martina Navratilova retains her WTA Tour championship by beating who? And who she beat? I mean, they're friends now, but they weren't friends back then. She beat Chris Everett. In her fifth overall title.
I feel that's a good.
Yeah. She was solid. She was solid at the time. That was just tragic. That stabbing. That was just tragic. Tragic. All right, Cleveland. Gervonta Tank Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And he fought Lamont Roach this weekend. They finished a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the fight? What's your thoughts on the fight? There was
Cameron, I saw enough. I heard enough to know. That boxing is fixed and that the winner is predetermined before the fight even starts. It just gives more credence to what it is that I'm saying. Been saying it for quite some time. Unless you knock the champion clean the heck out and he has to be on the ground on his back and you count to 10.
He's not looking for his mouthpiece to stuck in his mouth.
Lose the title. This man in the middle of a round went to his corner and tried to wipe his face off like he wasn't doing nothing wrong. Like it was like a basketball game.
Because he had grease running down his head. He said he got his hair done the night before and there was grease. And there was grease running into his eyes.
I believe Cassius Clay said that St. Louis had rubbed some liniment in his eyes. He couldn't see for 3 rounds. Did you ever see him go like, "Oh man, give me the towel, Angelo. I can't see right now." In addition, this man fell to his knee, did not get a knockdown call for it, and I don't know that. And somehow, he still was able to pull out with a victory. And one of the judges even had him winning the. Despicable. And he was minus 2,000 to win the fight.
Did you have some money on the fight? Did you have money on the fight?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Again, like I say with all these boxing events, obviously Tank Davis going to win. Why should I be watching the fight? And lo and behold, he couldn't win because he got his ass kicked so bad. But they did give him a draw. So that's the best they could do.
Yeah, it'll be on this weekend. If you haven't found it on yet, you can go on YouTube and see it. It's aired. It's aired.
It's just another black eye on boxing. It's just an embarrassment.
I don't know how to take this coming from Cleveland, y'all. Cleveland doesn't watch fights.
I watched the BF Bivol fight. I watched the first one. The same thing happened.
That was 6 months ago.
What do you see?
They fought 2 weeks ago, Cleveland. I don't know if you watched that fight. They fought 2 weeks ago.
They had to atone for what they did the first time because everybody was up in arms.
So this is for the rest of Cleveland. Plug your ears. This is for you rest of you sports fans and all the fans tuning into this podcast. There is a Fatal Fury fight that takes place Friday, May 2nd in New York's Times Square. Cleveland's not interested in this fight because it's on a Friday. That's why Cleveland was not going to be interested in another fight. Regardless of the fact that it's in this city, regardless of the fact that they're building an outdoor boxing ring in Times Square, Cleveland is still probably not interested in it. The fights are going to be Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Ryan Garcia makes his appearance back into the boxing ring. He says he's learned so much now, and he's ready to take boxing seriously now. Devin Haney makes his appearance. He fights Jose Ramirez. We haven't seen Devin Haney since he got knocked out by Ryan Garcia, who was obviously taking some stuff and cheating. And then we got the chump of all chumps, Teofimo Lopez, taking on Arnold Barboza. Now, I will say, the smack talk going into this Ryan Garcia Rolly Romero fight will probably be at the zenith we've seen for boxers in this generation, because Ryan's a big trash talker, Rolly's a big trash talker. This fight will only be good because both of these guys need a knockout. Both Rolly losing to Tank. I think Rolly lost his last 2 fights. He needs a win to stay relevant. Ryan Garcia, coming off that suspension, he needs a win to stay relevant. So they're going to be fighting. Devin Haney has something to prove against Jose Ramirez, who also seen what happened to Devin Haney, is not going to want Devin Haney to beat him. And then Teofimo Lopez, that fight probably should come on first, because nobody's interested in hearing Teofimo or watching Teofimo fight. There'll be a lot of people cheering for Arnold Barboza. Cleveland, what's your thoughts on this fight card happening on May 2nd?
Yeah, that all of the winners have been predetermined based upon their box office draw. And I love
Never mind, fan. I'm sorry, fan. I'm sorry.
The fact that Gervonta Davis shouldn't still be the champion right now, and that the only reason that he is because Boston's picked.
Well, you said it yourself earlier, Cleveland, when I asked you about the
I want to hear you say it.
No, you said you have to beat you said earlier you have to knock the champ out. To beat a champ, you have to knock out the champ.
Well,
Did the champ get knocked out?
That shouldn't be.
Did the champ get knocked out?
You shouldn't have to knock out the champ.
Did the champ get knocked out? Did the champ get knocked down?
You should just have to knock. He did get knocked down, by the way, and you should just have to to just win the fight, being the champion fair and square. Why do you have to knock him out unconscious for 10 seconds to get a belt?
To beat a champ, you have to beat the champ.
Yeah, beat the champ.
Yeah, beat the champ.
Okay, and not have a bunch of crooked scorecard people scoring the fight.
Okay, so the fight card, Cleveland don't like the fight card I just gave him because he went right back to Gervonta Davis.
It's totally fine. The fight card that you made up, that's great. But all the winners have been predetermined, so why I got to watch?
Canelo Alvarez is fighting William Skull on Saturday.
I think Canelo's going to win that fight.
Oh, you think Canelo's going to win that fight?
I think so.
Why do you think so? What gives you some confidence?
Well, because he has another bigger fight coming in September, and they're not going to allow him to lose a fight unless he gets the snot piss kicked out of him, like I just said. And this is an inferior opponent, so that's not going to happen.
There you might have a point. there you might have.
It was handpicked like Mickey used to pick Rocky's fights before he had to fight Clubber Lang.
Handpicked. What do you say? Are you saying those fights were fixed? Are you saying I didn't beat those guys?
Nah, they was good fighters. They just weren't killers like that dude.
I mean, who could not like Rocky? Rocky had to be the best movie series for sports fans ever. Until they got to Rocky 5, and then it fell off the map. How many Kraken games you been to, Cleveland?
3, Cameron.
You root for the Kraken? Are you a Kraken fan? I don't see the.
I'm a casual fan. I mean, I am getting a little bit more into hockey, here and there. Surprisingly, the atmosphere is very upbeat at Kraken games, and it's kind of not what you would think. It's a little bit more modern and dare I say a lot of hip hop influence, which we might not expect at a Kraken game, but they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would have to say I was at the game last night, and as I'm singing, I forget what song, I'm like, I bet there's fewer people in this arena that know this song that they were playing.
I don't like that, right?
there were very few just singing along with the song last night. But yeah, I've been to a couple of cracking games. Alexander Ovechkin, 11 goals away from Gretzky.
Mhm.
Gretzky's all-time goal record. Um, this is getting interesting. This is getting interesting. Serena Williams agrees to become part owner of the WNBA team in Toronto. WNBA is expanding. I like that. Serena's a owner of a couple teams. I know she's part owner of the Dolphins as well. Now she's going to be. I want to say she's a partial owner of the Raiders. I can't confirm that, but I think I'm pretty sure she is.
The Raiders, I think a few other ancillary teams.
Yeah. And now she's going to be a WNBA owner, which is pretty cool. Have you seen Juju play from USC?
Yeah.
She Player of the Year in the Big Ten. They won the Big Ten this year. It's still Big Ten, right? I'm saying it right. Big Ten. Right?
Yeah, they moved to the Big Ten.
Yeah. And she's coming back. She has to come back. She can't come back as a sophomore. She has to go back to school. She can't come out as a sophomore. So she's going to go to school and dominate them guys again. Can she win? Can she lead USC to the title? No. Not alone.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it's. I think it's going to come down to the Blue Bloods, UConn, and South Carolina.
All right, Cleveland. What's up with these outfielders? Or excuse me, Altuve now is moving to the outfield to try to prolong himself. We had Trout, who's also moving. He's moving to left field to try to preserve his legs. Right. We have the incident with Bergman and Devers fighting over third base. What's up with these position players? Oh, and Mookie Betts is going to second base, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's going to second base as well. What's up with all these guys moving around? Is this just to help their individual teams out? Is this to prolong their careers? What do you see as the reason that these guys are moving around?
It's helping their teams out by prolonging their careers.
Good decision. So is Julio, not Francisco Rodriguez? He's going to go to right field or left field?
No. You mentioned some other people quite a bit older. No, Julio's 24 years old. He's center field.
Are your Mariners going to break 500 this season?
Yes.
They're going to finish with a 500 record.
Yes.
Are they going to get into the playoffs this season?
That I can't say.
Well, have a little bit more confidence. I thought you were confident in.
I haven't seen a whole lot of improvement in the offense, so not going to go there.
Are you watching these spring training games?
No, not really.
Yeah, spring training is like less than preseason football, isn't it?
No, because they play way more games.
But I'm saying a spring training game is not even equivalent to.
Oh, it's much
preseason
more
football.
That because they play so many more players. They're really trying to establish the depth of their roster, and if someone is going to overtake someone, they have a much bigger sample size than preseason NFL games. Play every day.
Okay. Since we got a little bit of time, Cleveland fans, I'm gonna do the Cleveland is gonna be. This is gonna irk Cleveland, but we got a little bit of time, and we can get this list started. Cleveland. Cleveland, if you were starting an NBA one-on-one tournament with NBA players, who's the number one seed, Cleveland?
Depends on how you're seeding them, but I mean, just to kind of spitball it, I would start with either Steph Curry or Anthony Edwards.
So I'll make Anthony Edwards number one. And then number 2, I'll make Steph Curry. How about that?
Sure.
Well, excuse me. I'll make Steph the number 1 in a different bracket. So I need give me another who's a number 1 player in a one-on-one bracket. Give me another.
Are we giving Kyrie an asterisk on what he could have done, or is he out of it because he's?
What do you think? How should we do this?
If you give him an asterisk, he's number 1, and then I'll give Shea the other ones.
Yeah, quietly, I think Kyrie would win the whole tournament. But okay, so we got Kyrie, Shea, Steph, and Anthony Edwards as number 1 seeds, Cleveland. As number 1 seeds in this tournament. Who else do you want to add to this tournament, Cleveland?
I'm kind of have to do some research to get through all of it. It's kind of on the spur of the moment and
I
probably can't get out the bracket all at once right now. But
give me the number 2 seed. Give me the second person, the second set of 4 guys. Give me the second set of 4 guys. So you're giving me number 1 and number 2 in each of the East, West, South, and North.
One-on-one, I'll give you. Let's make it funny. I'll go Jason Tatum, Giannis, John Morant, and Victor Wembanyama.
Jason Tatum, Giannis. All right, let me see. I'll put Tatum with Steph. Jason Tatum. And chime in if you want to chime in on the chat of who you guys think should be in competition in the our one-on-one bracket. You said Giannis. Should I put Giannis with Steph? No, I'm not going to put Giannis with Steph. Who'd you say? Jason Tatum, Giannis, and who else? Who else did you say?
John Morant and Victor Wembanyama.
John Morant. Okay. So this is to start our Victor. I'm not sure Victor is going to be a good player.
Oh yeah, someone that can stop Victor Wembanyama from shooting from 3-point range.
Victor don't have a go-to move, so he's going to stop himself.
Sometimes you don't need that when you're 7'5".
And then you said Giannis. Whew. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's see if somebody in the chat gave us a name. Who somebody in the chat? Tatum, Giannis, Donovan. The young players, minor leaguers, get some experience in spring training.
Yeah.
Help. Okay. So Boots, you gave me Tatum, Giannis, and Donovan. Give me 3 more. I already got Tatum and Giannis.
Okay, so he wants Donovan. Okay, so I'll move. I'm okay with Donovan being in a 2 seed. We'll move.
No, I'll put Donovan's a 3 seed. I'm putting Donovan a 3 seed.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
What you got, Boots? You got somebody else for me, Boots? And then I can fill in the rest. But I want to get you guys' feedback. Who else you got, Boots? Boots hasn't given me nobody. I need somebody for the Steph and Tatum bracket. Who's a 3 seed, Cleveland? Give me a name, 3 seed.
Man, I have no idea, man. I'm going to have to do some research and get back with you.
Not really an acceptable answer there, Chief.
Well, I mean, who do you have, Cameron?
As a 3 seed, you know what? This might be high. I'm not gonna put him in a 3 seed, but I'm gonna put Tyrese Maxey in here as a 4 seed. 3 is a little high. This might be a little high as well, but I'm gonna put him. He's deserving to be on. He's deserving to be on this. And I'm gonna put as a 5 seed one of Jaw's teammate, and that it would be Desmond Bain. as a 5 seed.
Yeah, you see how this is starting to unravel. This is why you kind of need to step back and kind of assess. Desmond Bain should not even be in this, like one of the 64.
He should he's not a high seed. That's why I got him as a 5 seed.
He shouldn't be one of the 64 in a one-on-one.
Oh, he shouldn't be one of the 64 at all.
That dude can't dribble. You know that, right?
He shouldn't be. He says he shouldn't be at all in here.
No.
Okay. So, what is Luka? Is Luka a 2?
He's not a 2. We've already got our 2, so maybe a 3, or maybe a 4.
Ooh. Where do we put Luka? I'm gonna put Luka in the South with his former teammate. I'm gonna put him at 3. I'm gonna put Luka Doncic. This is for,
like Emmett says, go do your research, go do your studying.
Listen to you,
and then flush it out.
Oh, he said Cade. Cade is not a high. I put him in there.
Cade is a 5 or a 6 seed.
So I'm gonna put Cade as a 5 or 6 in the Midwest. Cade Cunningham. Thank you, Boots. We got some homework to do, but I would just wanted to get this thing started because we're gonna have a bracket before, not this week, but we're gonna start whittling down this bracket probably in 2 weeks. As you know, guys know it's bracket time, so it'll be a good time. Is Paulo above Booker?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
So if we put Booker, what would you want to put Booker? As a 5 or 6 seed?
No, he's a 3 or a 4.
You think he's a 4? So I'm gonna put Booker, okay, in the East. At the 4 seed. And then Paulo. You say Paulo's ahead of Booker? Paulo's a 3 as well? I'm gonna put Paulo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Paulo as a 3 in the West. All right, this is gonna be interesting. All right, anybody got any Jaylen Brown? Woo. Yeah, but Jaylen Brown. I know it's handball or mid, but he is an NBA champion, Finals MVP, so he has to go in here somewhere. I think he's in the East, and he's going to be. Do I have a 5 seed in the East? No, I've got a 3 seed. I'm putting Jaylen as a 3 seed in the East. Putting Jaylen as a 3 seed in the East. You want to add Dame in here? Does Dame belong in here somewhere?
He would be a lower seed somewhere. I have to figure it out.
5 or 6 in the West?
It's a little high, probably.
Let's see who else I got on my list right here. Who else I got on my list right here? Cade, and we got Donovan, Karl Anthony Towns. Where's he? What seed is Karl Anthony Towns? I know you like those big shooting big men. Is he a 6 or 7 seed?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
So I'm gonna put KT in Midwest. He's a 6 seed in the Midwest. Why'd you say LeBron? Where your boy LeBron at?
Hey, we have to assess it right now. I mean, he's probably road 1-on-1. Yeah.
What's that?
He's probably somewhere mid seed 1-on-1.
Where's KD?
He's probably somewhere between 4 and 6, depending on how you assess.
KD got to be
talent.
I'm putting KD in this East bracket at what do I have left? Oh man, that East bracket is already full. KD, I can't put him at a. I hate to put him. I got Tyrese at a 4. Tyrese, you can't be there. Tyrese, you got to go somewhere else, buddy. I got KD as a 4, and I'm gonna I'm gonna put Tyrese as a 6th seed in that. But yeah, I think this is gonna be. I think this is gonna be interesting, Cleveland. This is gonna be interesting to see how this shakes out, and we're gonna have to flush it out. So that I'm gonna stop there. We're gonna have to come up to work on this list over the next week, so we can start eliminating people next week. What do you think about that?
Let's see what's up.
So just let me save this here. Okay, I'm saving this here. One-on-one NBA bracket. Well, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this bracket, fans, that we're gonna have for you guys here at the end of the month. You got any? No, we didn't say Brunson. We didn't say Brunson. Brunson's a lower seed. Brunson probably a 5 or 6 seed. Would you agree, Cleveland?
No, lower than that.
Lower than 5 or 6?
He can't guard anybody, so no.
Is he a 7 seed, an 8 seed, 9 seed?
Why do you ask me the question, then ask me the question again? He can't guard anybody, so he has to be lower than that.
So I'm gonna put him at a 10 in the Midwest. Is he lower than a 10?
Quite possibly. I mean, I haven't flushed out the entire list of the 64, so.
So there we go. There's a start of our list, man. And when you guys will see the rest of the list, we'll have the list completed by next week. But this is the start of our NBA, our one-on-one list, just to see who we think might pull this thing off. So, fans, we start with our numbers game that we missed tonight. We have our This Week in History episode that we gave you guys some education on this week here. I want to leave you guys with a quote. It's a real simple quote this week, Cleveland. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. You get that, Cleveland? Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Your best is good enough. No, thank you, Boots. Appreciate you for tuning in and chiming in. With the rest of the fans, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam on location. Got my man Cleveland. About 5 miles from me, Cleveland. I hope you enjoyed this good weather we having. And fans, please hit us up at _Voice of the Fans on Twitter or Voice of the Fans at Outlook.com. Hit us up with your feedback and who do you think should be in the bracket for the NBA one-on-one tournament. What's your thoughts? Who should be in the bracket? Give us your feedback and we'll fit them in there. But I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. As always, thank you for making our voice your choice. Shout out to Cleveland for tuning in. Thanks, Cleveland, for being here. And we'll holler at you next week.